All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Andrew Small.
And I'm Ashlee Watkins.
And this is an overview of our vocal duet singing workshop here. We're going to start with a song that we're going to use as an example throughout the workshop, and then we're going to go into a lot of considerations that you might make that you could be applied to any song you might be working on in a duet setting. And the song that we're going to sing is called Goodbye, My Little Bonnie, Goodbye. We learned it from a recording of Mike Seeger and Paul Brown. The recording is called Way Down in North Carolina. It's one of our favorite albums of old-time music, and it's out of print, but you can find used copies if you look on the internet there. Yeah, and it's well worth it. There's so much good material on there, so we highly recommend that. But that's where we got this, and we're not going to break down the song for you right now, and in fact, we're going to do a simplified arrangement for you, just to so you hear the verses out there. We normally do it a little different when we perform, but for the sake of this song right now, we're gonna Ash will be singing the melody. She's gonna be on top. I'm singing the harmony underneath her, and we're in the key of C major. All right. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1. Great. Well, that's an example there. Step 1, make sure you know the words.
That's it.
Yeah. So that was just me giving you an example of why it's important to make sure you know the words. I was guilty of it in there too. Yeah. Yeah. So obviously, I think when you want to come in together at the beginning of phrases with the words when you have these words worked out. But we'll get to that. Let's just kind of go in order of a few considerations that you would make with this when you're arranging a song like this. And so the first thing that's probably the most obvious after maybe learning the lyrics is
the melody.
Yeah, and making sure you have the same words. I think a lot of these things that we're going to talk about, it's like making sure you both agree on you have the same idea about that because we're a team. Yeah. And so, and to be honest, we didn't practice this song right before we recorded the video, so that's something that I would do if I was about to perform this on stage. Is just make sure we got all our words straight, we know which verses are coming in what order, that sort of thing. But one of the other main things that you're going to deal with right off the bat is what key do you sing a song in? Finding the right pitch or the right, to suit your voice. And so we want to find something that works well for both of us, given, if Ash is singing the melody, she needs to find a place in her voice where the melody suits her. And it's like she can, hit the high notes, but it's not straining too much, but she's got enough power and it's not going too low. And then usually you probably should, give the person singing the melody the priority on that sort of thing, and then the harmony can work around it. But it also suits me pretty well to sing in the higher part of my voice. I found a harmony part that works well with Ash singing the melody there. There's one note that's pretty high for me, but like if it had been up to me, maybe, and I might like move it just a hair lower, but it's because it's the best balance for both of us. I'm pushing myself a little bit to hit one high note, which is kind of fun, actually, too. So,
and it just so happens to be in the key of C that it suited my voice. It's not that this is the key that it's typically in, but we just we like to put on a capo or just try out different chord shapes and work out what key this song suits whoever's singing the melody best. But also we like to sometimes change parts. Sometimes Andrew might sing the melody and I'll sing a harmony, and then we'll do the same process and find out what key we should be doing that in. Do you want to give an example of that?
Yeah, I will. And also, you just said something interesting, because sometimes I think people think about a song, or at least with tunes, we think about fiddle tunes being in a certain key. And I think with songs, it's good to get away from that idea, because a song shouldn't be in a set key all the time. Like, this song shouldn't be in, you shouldn't think of it as a song that's in C. It's just a song, and whoever's singing it should personalize it to make it work for them. There's no rule that you need to sing any song in any key just because that's how so-and-so did it. Bill Monroe put it up there for an effect. Not this song, but any singer might choose, for any variety of reasons that are personal to them, to put it in a certain key. And you should do the same when you're arranging songs. But now what we're talking about is the parts. So, Ash was singing the melody here, and I was on the harmony underneath. Now, it creates a pretty different sound when we flip those. If you want to have the melody on the bottom and the harmony above, that's more like a lot of bluegrass music. This is not exactly a bluegrass song, but like the harmony structure would be a little bit more bluegrassy if we flip it around. But in order to do that, C major is no longer the best key for us. So, because that would mean I'd have to be way too high to sing the melody where Ash was singing it, or it'll be pretty low. And that's not comfortable for either of us. So we're gonna find a new key. And when you're finding a key, even a half step, even one fret on the guitar or the mandolin or whatever instrument will make a big difference. You really kind of experiment, and we'll just slide it around, and sometimes it'll be a D, the key of D or something, and we'll be like, well, that's pretty good. It's not quite there. Like, bump it up. Oh, E is too high. What about E flat? Oh, that's it. A key that I would never play in as like a fiddle player or a mandolin player, but it just works the best when you're singing. Sometimes you find the right spot and it just opens up. So
I'm looking for my capo.
Okay.
Oh, here it is.
There it is. We got the capo, a very good tool to have handy when you're doing vocal arrangements, so you can slide around with the keys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch the parts. I'm going to sing the melody on the bottom. Ash is going to be above with the harmony, and we'll save you the time of experimenting to find that key. We're just going to jump in and say we picked the key back, right? So that was pretty good. We'll try it. It'll be a little bit different, and we don't have to sing the whole song. Just a couple verses here. Let's just do like
a verse and chorus.
Yeah, let's do the first verse and chorus. So, all right. Are you ready?
What's the first verse?
I asked your mama, asked your papa for you. All right. Ready? I'll give you a turn around again. Well, I hope you could hear that it was pretty different. Like, it gave it a different character there. It just feels different. It was like roughly in the same part of our voices, actually. It was a similar range for both of us. And so that's what we were trying to keep, is like that upper sort of part of our range where we can really project and have produce powerful sounds, but it's still in a comfortable range for the parts, given the parts that we're singing. So that's why we kept the same range, but we flipped parts, and then we just found the key. That when you tend to do that with two singers, the key is probably going to be like on the opposite end of the circle of fourths or something, which basically we were in C before, now we're in F. It's like about a fourth or a fifth away if you're keeping track of that kind of thing at home. But one thing I would say real quick is that I gave a good example of something you should not do, maybe, which is like, or rather something I should have done that I didn't do there, which is because I was singing the melody, I should have had the notes in my head before I jumped right in to sing.
Yeah.
But I was thinking like, all right, let's just do it. We're in the key of F, let's go. And then when I sang the first words, I was like, oh, I actually don't, I'm still thinking the harmony line, I don't have the pitches yet. I found it, but it's always good to know like your starting pitches before you jump into a song, any part. So I should have been thinking about the key of F. Goodbye. Okay, that's a third right there. I should have been kind of had that pitch in my head, and then I would have been ready to nail it right off the bat. So there's a good example for you.
Mm-hmm. So moving along, we'll talk about phrasing, timing, and accents. We like to think of our voices as instruments just as much as a fiddle and a banjo is, and so when you're playing fiddle and banjo, guitar, or whatever instrument, it's really important, as if you're playing with other people, to be in time. And it's really important to sing in time as well. And that sounds easier than it actually is, So
we have different ideas of what time is unless we work it out and make sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, so we gave some examples of us, not being completely sure on the words, so we're coming in late at times.
Well, we can just break that down. I mean, phrasing or the timing of the words, making sure that we, whether we might sing the words right on the beat or something like, goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye. That's a pretty straight, rigid rhythm, but like, goodbye, my little, I don't know how we could alter that. Okay, I asked.
Is like a accent.
Yeah. I asked your papa for you. Those your and for are both like come in a little bit ahead of the beat. So if it was like, I asked your papa for you, we agreed on that those words are going to come. And the way we phrase that is that, for, your, and for kind of jump out to keep it from being so rigid and straight. We're trying to give it some rhythmic variety there.
Anticipated notes.
Yeah, and if we just had learned the words off a sheet of paper and we didn't have the phrasing down, maybe we wouldn't be, have a clear idea on what we're doing there. But it's just important to work that stuff out. Often if you're learning music by ear anyway, and if you learn it together from the same recording, you might already have that stuff, intuitively be on the same page. But it's just something to consider. Just make sure when you're singing these lines, if one of you is singing your ahead of the beat and one of you is delaying that so it's right on the beat, you're not going to sound like you're together, even if you're in tune. Mm-hmm. Even if your instruments are in time and you're in tune and all these other things. But so this is phrasing and timing of your lyrics is really important to have a cohesive whole here. Okay, you want to talk about vowel sounds? Okay. Well, hey everybody, I'm Andrew Small.
I'm Ashlee Watkins.
And this is our, it's a sampler from our vocal workshop from the virtual get-together the other week. We'll basically go over all the things we went over in that workshop and we'll sing the song as an example that we used in that workshop. And what we're gonna do is basically sing the song, which you can take and break down and learn in your own time. It's a very simple song, so we're not gonna teach the song, but you can learn it on your own. And then we're going to talk about a lot of considerations you would make when you're working this up with somebody else.
Or any other song.
Or any other, yeah. All the things we'll talk about, and we'll use this song as an example, but these are things that could be applied to any song that you're working on in a duet setting. So we're just going to try to give an overview of a lot of considerations to make here. But first we're going to start with the song. This is what we played in our workshop the other day. It's called Goodbye, My Little Bonnie, Goodbye. It's just a really standard, simple, old-time song, traditional song, and that's why we like to use it for an example. And we're gonna, we learned it from a recording of Mike Seeger and Paul Brown called Way Down in North Carolina, which is a wonderful recording with a lot of great songs and great material on it. So we highly recommend anybody go out and try to find that and learn the song from that if you want to. So anyway, here we go. We're going to sing it first in the key of C major, and this will be relevant once we get into this a little bit later. But
Oh, also I'm singing the melody in
Yep.
this one. Andrew's going to be singing tenor below me.
right, I'll sing the harmony part underneath the melody. So she's melody on top, I'm harmony underneath, and we're in the key of C right now. Okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye. Goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye. I'll see you again, but the Lord knows when. Goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye. I asked your papa for you. I asked your mama too. They both said no, your little Bonnie can't go. That's all that I can do. Goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye. Goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye. I'll see you again, but the Lord knows when. Goodbye, my little Bonnie, goodbye.
I feel like we need to stop
Okay.
because in the workshop we didn't do the